Wow, it's a broad question, but it's a very good question, and it all depends sometimes exactly who you're talking to as to how specific the answer is. Certainly on something that's as big as Game of Thrones, the responsibility of the art department is enormous because there are so many different kingdoms within the show. It's actually something that falls very heavily in our hands, and that's defining each world that these characters live in. And so we have to take that very seriously. We take our colour palette very seriously, we take the textures very seriously, we take the locations very seriously. Everything's very carefully chosen according to what region that we're working in. I mean, it's obviously the same with feature films and other television series, but certainly on this show, it's something that is very heavily scrutinised by all of the producers and everyone involved before we commit to something, just to make sure that we're telling the right story with those characters in that kingdom. Yeah, well, I mean, of course I'm not doing it by myself. I mean, there's a huge team of people who are in the art department who are just absolutely extraordinary in and of themselves. All of the art directors, we've got 2 supervising art directors. One supervising art director looks after the away locations, and then we've got Paul Giridani, who looks after all of the locations within Belfast and all of the studio builds. So what we do is we divide and we conquer. And by having a really great team, it means that it makes my job so much easier. But also what we do is we communicate a lot over Skype. We send endless emails, endless photographs. And the most hilarious thing is through the various blogs about Game of Thrones and the various sites that there are, I can almost check on the sets by not even being there, because no doubt somebody else will have photographed it before me. So I can almost check the internet in the morning and see what they've been doing in Croatia. It's very funny. It's sort of postmodern. Yeah, well, I think the thing is that set extensions at the moment are not as cost effective as we think they are. I mean, the visual effects budget has to stretch a very long way. They have to create dragons, they have to do werewolves and all sorts of, the dire wolves, and all sorts of different things. So they have a lot of work already. And it's just efficient for us. I mean, the other thing to remember as well, I mean, I know it doesn't look like one, but we are a television show. We have to work very quickly. And it's important that we keep as much in camera as possible, because that means that on the back end, they're not having to go back and retouch what we're doing. They can just keep as much in camera, and then it's done. It can be edited, and the episodes are completed. We only finished shooting just before Christmas, like literally just before Christmas, and the first episode will be released in April. So, these guys in post-production just don't have much of a turnaround, so we have to limit their work to what's absolutely essential, and that tends to be dragons and big establishing shots.